Shouts out to the Golden State Warriors. They one win away from advancing to the second round. They showed that their experience is no joke. The young, hungry Houston Rockets came in with youth on their side. They thought they was going to outlast the Warriors. But the Warriors are too smart for the Houston Rockets. And when it was money time, the veterans came through, especially Jimmy Butler. 14 points in the fourth quarter. He outscored the whole Warriors team in the fourth. The man was balling, man. 27, 7, and 5. You got to tip your hat to that guy for coming out balling after missing the last game with an injury. He's not 100%, but he went out there and played like he was 100%. You got to respect that, man. And once Dylan Brooks woke him up with that chit-chatting, it was all over for him. He was locked in. They got some players, when you piss them off, they go in that mode, man. And he one of them. He went into that mode and he delivered because Stephen Curry had an okay game, 17 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists. But Brandon Podziemski, he had the hot hand. 26, 5, and 5. He set the tone in the first quarter. Stinging them threes, man. He was clutch. Real talk. You can do that, though. Steph Curry can have okay games when you got two more guys that could go out and get you almost 30 points. Steve Kerr, he called a hell of a game. I didn't really like that hacker Steven Adams, what he was doing, but he played the percentages. And when he did that, that took the Houston Rockets out of their flow because the Houston Rockets' big lineup with Adams and Sengun was giving the Warriors trouble when Draymond Green them had to rest, for a part of that game. Post came in. He had like 13. Buddy Hield, he showed up. He hit timely threes. I think he had like 15 points. It was a great all-around win by the Golden State Warriors. For the most part, though, this was a tug-of-war game. In the second quarter, they both went at it in the first quarter. In the second quarter, the Warriors came out on an 18-1 run, went up 10 points. And then the Rockets went on a run, like a 22-12 run. This was a game of runs. They both were playing hard out there. But the Warriors have more experience, and it showed dearly in this one. Draymond Green showed why he was a Defensive Player of the Year finalist. When it was time, he D'd up. They got timely stops when they needed them. In order to win a championship, you got to have defense to go with your offense. And they just brought it to the younger team. In that second quarter, though, the Rockets came with it. They had a 19-point turnaround in the second. They finished on a 7-0 run. The Rockets were very physical. They thought they got pushed around last game. They brought that energy and tenacity for most of the game. Fred VanVleet, though, he played out of his mind. Man, the Rockets were up 7 points going into halftime, but we all knew the Warriors were going to come marching back. When you look at their stats in the first half, the Rockets shot 54% from the field and 64% from three. When you shoot like that on the road, you should be able to win. They even won the rebound battle 21-15, and points in the paint, they dominated 22-12 in the first half. But the Rockets started out in the third quarter bad, 0 for 6 to start from the field. And that got the Warriors the momentum and got them back in the game, man. And they never lost that momentum ever since that point in the game. I've been saying over the last few games, I can't wait till Prince Sengun have one of them games. Well, he inserted himself in this one. He had 18 points going into the fourth. Thompson and Sengun were eating old school basketball. Dominate the paint, play tough defense. But you see, what the Houston Rockets don't have is a go-to scorer, man. A guy who you could throw the ball to and be like, we need a few points. Go do your thing. Or a guy you could throw the ball to and be like, bring me home. It's supposed to be Jalen Green. I done seen enough with this guy. He's not what's up. He's just raw talent with athleticism. He's not the guy you need if you're going to contend for a championship. If I'm Ime Udoka in the offseason, that's the number one thing I'm doing. Trading him for at least two nice young players and grabbing another big man to help out a Prince Sengun. and Steven Adams in that paint. They need that dearly, because when you look at the statistics, Abrine Sengun had 31, 10, and 5. But that last possession, him isoing on one of the better defenders in the league, and Draymond Green, I didn't like that at all. No ball movement, no set, no nothing. That was easy for Draymond Green to lock up. That was an awful call by Ime Udoka. Steve Kerr outcoached him on that play because he put Kevin Looney in the game to box out Steven Adams, because Steven Adams was doing work on the glass, and Steven Adams one of the best offensive rebounders in the game. So Kevin Looney boxed him out and still contested Abrine Sengun's shot a little bit with Draymond. Abrine Sengun, he rushes his shots too much for me. Draymond Green forced him further out than where he wanted to go, and he forced the shot, man. That's a bad shot. After a great game like that, you're going to lose because a guy forced a shot? Man, I ain't like that at all, man. Real talk. Brooks, he had 11 and 6. Thompson played ball with 17 and 9. Fred VanVleet had 25 and 6. Jabari Smith, 6.7 rebounds. I need more from him. This guy was a top 3 pick in the draft. I need more from Jabari Smith, man. Steven Adams had 5 and 7. Tari Easton had 3. I need more from him. But where the Rockets really lost the game was at the free throw line. They missed 12 threes. Now, when you look at their stats, they had 48 points in the paint. You should be able to win when you're playing a small team like the Warriors. But the Rockets are not a smart team. They're a bigger team, younger team, but they're not a smarter team. The Rockets had 7 blocks, 41 rebounds, and they shot 48% from 3. 48% from 3, and you lose. That lets you know, you didn't execute and do other things in the game that you need to do to win. And they shot 49% from the field. That's good enough to win. But when you got a guy like Jalen Green, who was unplayable at times in the game, this is going to be the result. Jalen Green cost these boys at least 2 games in this series. At least 2. And then he got the nerve to be yapping with a full-time champion, Draymond Green. Man, Draymond Green laughing at you right now, man. You know what I'm saying? That dude is not what's up. I can tell you one thing. After seeing how Golden State playing, it's going to be tough for anyone to beat them. The only way you can beat them is if you got a big man that could get you some points in the paint and that could knock down their free throws. Because if you ain't got 2 guys that could go toe-to-toe with Jimmy Butler and Stephen Curry, and the third option that could come in and get you 20, you ain't really beating these boys, because it's rare that any of them have off games. The way they play, they get their points within the flow of the offense. Nothing's forced. I'll see y'all on the next one.